Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show. I am your host, Matrixlord212, and I'm with Chris. What's up, Chris?
What's up, guys?
So what's going on with Godzilla, man?
So, of course, we are in Comic-Con right now.
Yep.
Also, happy Moon Day, by the way, Moon Landing Day.
Moon Landing Day.
And there was a representative there from ToHo, because we knew that ToHo was going to be at Comic-Con this year, along with Legendary and the MonsterVerse.
Okay.
And basically what they were saying was that they've been extremely happy with everything that the MonsterVerse has done. They are considering it its own era of Godzilla history.
Oh, boy.
Officially, it is now known as the Hollywood era.
Hollywood era? Okay.
Yes. Which, not ironically, but interestingly enough, they're not considering Kong Skull Island as part of it. At least ToHo's not. So it's kind of interesting. But they basically said, what it sounded like to me was, they were saying that they want their own series to come back. They want to see more in Hollywood, more Godzilla in Hollywood. And they said that basically that the MonsterVerse and their series are potentially going to, quote unquote, evolve together. Which, not that they're going to cross over or anything, but that, I guess they want both to be going on at the same time.
That's perfect.
Yeah, so if Godzilla vs. Kong does well, that may very well be what we see. They also talked about how things moving forward are going to be different with respect to distribution of the films, merchandise, news, stuff like that. They said that it's basically going to be like when something happens in Japan, it will also happen in America.
Good.
So merchandise, they said we're working to get as much merchandise to the States as possible.
Excellent.
They said that Godzilla has a presence, an official presence on the internet now. That's where you're going to get all news from ToHo on Twitter, on all these different, on their main website, all these different things. And they basically were implying, too, that when they release a film, it's possible that it will be released either shortly after it's released in Japan or potentially at the same time.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
So it's a great interview. Go read it. We paraphrased a lot of it here, but definitely go take a look at it because it sounds like they have an idea for a lot of good things in the future. The one thing that needs to happen, though, on the MonsterVerse side of things is that Godzilla vs. Kong has to do well.
Right. Now, I have a question about that. In Comic-Con, is this the right avenue to say, being that it's related, or does it have to be the video game industry event? Because I heard a rumor that there is a Godzilla vs. Kong video game PS4. Did we hear anything about that?
Apparently that was debunked.
Okay.
But even if it was true, going off of what we know, it wasn't going to be anything huge.
Okay.
It was just going to kind of be like a simple fighting game,
okay,
which is fine. But as far as I know, that story has been debunked.
So there's no video game right now that we know of?
As far as they know, no, not yet. No.
What about the animated fronts? What about when they had a thing with Netflix? Is that going to continue?
So as of right now, they haven't announced anything, and I don't think they're going to because those animated films were not received very well.
So it wasn't successful, really?
I don't know if it wasn't successful or not, but I know that a majority of the fan base, it was like, yeah, this is not what we wanted at all.
So what's the first movie after Kong in general? Not like the MonsterVerse, but like ToHo. Are they doing the Godzilla movie?
I think it's going to be the first in the world of Godzilla, which for those of you who don't know is going to be like a cinematic universe of these monsters created by ToHo.
So in other words, they're allowed to make movies while the MonsterVerse has permission to write other movies. Like you're saying,
I'm assuming it would alternate every year or 2 years.
Correct.
Like 1 year you would get a MonsterVerse film, the other year you would get a ToHo film.
Okay.
The MonsterVerse is not going to be able to keep up with this because ToHo, the budget and the production for those films are relatively minor compared to what the MonsterVerse goes through.
Right.
So the MonsterVerse would obviously take more time to produce and get out than a ToHo film.
Movie is a success, right?
Yeah. So personally, I don't think the MonsterVerse is going to go on for 6 or 7 films. I think maybe after Godzilla vs. Kong, we get maybe 2 or 3 more, maybe, and then it's over.
Well, let me ask you a question. I know we're talking about 3 more Godzilla films, but what you said before that Toho's not concerned with Skull Island, will they be making Kong movies while it's under the umbrella of MonsterVerse? It's not really, because Toho doesn't give a crap about that.
Well,
Like
the reason that Toho just didn't include it was because Godzilla wasn't in it.
Right.
So I
but
guess
I'm
they're
saying
not.
So if we see a Kong movie, that has nothing to do really overall with the actual 3 movies they're making, right?
Well, no, it is still part of the MonsterVerse. It's just that Toho is just not considering that film as a part of the quote-unquote Hollywood era. But Kong Skull Island is still a canon part of the MonsterVerse.
But we will probably see a Kong movie because that was a success.
Yeah, actually, so far it's the most successful film in the MonsterVerse. But
right, so they should make a sequel to that.
I would assume that depending on how Godzilla vs. Kong is received,
right,
it would either be one of 2 things. It would either be they would make another Kong film, depending on what happens, or he would return in another film that's not his own. So, like, if they did like a Destroy All Monsters kind of thing,
he would be in it.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Godzilla vs. Kong is not considered Godzilla 3, right?
As far as I know, it's not. No.
It's not. Just like Jason vs. Freddy, they weren't considered this Nightmare or Freddy. It's like, or Friday the 13th. It was a separate, like, that's just like versus. All right, so this is not Godzilla 3. Okay.
It's not Godzilla 3, no. And I'm trying to think. There was something about that. I'm pretty sure that the panel for Legendary, I think it's either tonight or tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow because I'm pretty sure Marvel's is tonight. But well, tonight for us because we're on the East Coast. But that MonsterVerse panel, I heard that they're gonna do something for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay.
So whether or not it's a teaser, I don't know. The movie is apparently done filming. Now, whether or not they're doing reshoots for normal reshoots or to fix quote-unquote things to give it a better reception from King of the Monsters, I don't know. But I think if they're not fixing anything and the reshoots aren't that extensive, I don't see why they couldn't have a teaser trailer. Because they showed footage apparently at an expo a couple weeks ago about Godzilla vs. Kong, and everybody said it was fantastic. So I have to think that they have something ready.
Okay. So besides the world of Godzilla now, you said that their next movie would be a Godzilla movie. They do plan on doing like Mothra and Ghidorah and Rodan movies, right?
They said that they want it to be like the MCU, where at any time they could release a movie that's like Rodan and Mothra, Godzilla and Ghidorah, Godzilla and Mothra, something like that.
Right.
So basically what they're saying, and this is like, if this is still the plan, it's like music to my ears, because it's basically the anti-Millennium series, where the Millennium series was every movie's in its own continuity except for 2 of them.
Right.
And nothing else happened except for 54. Now it's like, no, we're going back to the Showa Heisei series idea where everything is connected.
Right, okay.
Even movies that don't have Godzilla in them are part of this.
Okay, good.
This singular story.
All right. What about the status of Gamera?
Gamera's still MIA at the moment.
Wasn't there rumors that there was going to be another Gamera movie?
I believe it was one of the higher ups at Kawadaka, I think, Films said that he said he wants to get excited about the IP right now, but he can't say anything about it.
Okay, so all right, we'll find out later on then.
I'm assuming that means that they've at least talked about doing something.
Okay.
Which is good because that's how these things begin, obviously. So I mean.
Now, Godzilla is not considered a failure, King of the Monsters, or is it considered underperforming?
To be honest with you, I have no idea. I've heard so many different takes on this.
Yeah, it cost $170 million to make. Domestically, it made 109, but worldwide, I mean, in foreign markets, it did 274. So now a total worldwide gross of Godzilla King of the Monsters is 384,232,609.
Right.
And pretty much it's done. So we're not going to get it higher, and if we do, I mean, that's pretty much that's all it's really going to be, I think.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. Give or take. All right. So we covered. So now the toys, Godzilla vs Kong toys. Is that connected where it's established that we're going to get their toys at the same time, or is it going to be after that movie?
So here's the weird thing about that. I don't know who is distributing or producing anything for Godzilla vs. Kong.
Okay.
Because this is the thing. We know that the companies like Bandai, NECA, X Plus, Jax Pacific, all those, they all make the toys for Godzilla. So Godzilla 2014, Godzilla King of the Monsters, that was set.
Right.
Kong Skull Island, their products, some of them were made by Leonard Toys.
Okay.
Totally separate company. People have asked NECA, who's like one of the main resources for these MonsterVerse figures,
right,
mainly so for Godzilla and now Rodan, Mothra, and Ghidorah. They've asked them in the past, like, hey, Kong, are you guys going to do anything for them? And
right.
I believe their response was, we have no interest in doing anything with Kong.
Whoa. Jesus.
So we were like, okay. So then it's weird because I don't know who. What's kind of worrying me, not really worrying me, but I think it's kind of interesting, is that they may make toys for this movie, but they just won't make a Kong.
Because they're not allowed to.
They'll just make Godzilla.
I mean, they're not allowed to because it's a public domain thing?
Unless Jax Pacific or something made some kind of deal where they get the license to Kong for this movie and they can make a couple of things. I don't know how it's going to work, because I know that I'm pretty sure Bandai Japan's not going to make anything for Kong.
Wow, that's so interesting, though.
So
how could you have he's the main villain? What we think.
Well, they make Well, he's not going to be the villain really, but they make X Plus figures of Kong. So somebody over there can do that. So we'll see an X Plus 2020 Kong, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I just don't know. And if anybody knows, please leave it in the comment section, because I'd love to know.
Please.
But
yeah.
I don't know, like, in the American front, I don't know how they're going to do this. I don't know if they're going to have Godzilla figures made by Jax Pacific and then Kong figures made by Leonard. I don't know how that's going to work.
Okay. All right, that's pretty much the MonsterVerse, right?
At the moment, yeah.
All right. All right, we'll leave it this strictly to MonsterVerse. Thank you, guys. Take care. Bye for now.